Do you feel like you belong? Do you feel a sense of happiness where you are? Do you have a community? Do you have a tribe? People that you could call on, people who could call on you. When it comes to studying happy people, feeling like you belong is one of the most important aspects of a fulfilled human life. And it's something that's really been weighing on my mind heavily, especially these last 2 months. You see, we just moved to a new area, and we had come from a place with a lot of community, with a lot of involvement, where I worked at an office and I had some of the best people you can imagine to work with as a coach and working with people in personal development. And then also I had my church group and I knew a lot of people there. And then I lived really close to family. We lived within 20 minutes of at least 10 different relatives. And it was so amazing, and we had this strong community, and then we moved to a new place, and a lot of things shift. I went from working for a company to being an entrepreneur. I went from spending all my time with other people to being a stay-at-home mom, and I went from a husband who was there almost all the time because he was in school to a husband who would be gone a week at a time due to work. And so I came, and it became very isolating. The first week we got here, he left for work, and I was left by myself with a baby. First week as a stay-at-home mom, left alone for a week, not knowing anyone in the area. Well, I had an aunt, but we didn't know each other very well. A distant aunt. She's an aunt-in-law, and so that was really hard. So I want to talk about what I did. For me, it was sink or swim. It was get a community or kind of crumble in isolation. And I want to talk about why. Why do you need a community? First of all, so that's number one. And then how. Stick to the very end, and I will explain to you how to build a strong community where you can feel like you belong. I know the advice I'm giving you today isn't something I just came up with. It's something I've implemented, and honestly, it's been a lifesaver as an entrepreneur and as a mother. But why? The number one, I want to let you know I borrowed some of the whys from Tiny Buddha, some of the benefits, the wonderful blog Tiny Buddha, and she talks about that as we want a community because one, we get collective wisdom. Nobody knows it all, so you're going to learn a lot from a lot of different sources. Number two, it's pushing your limits. If you really want to be pushed, if you want to feel uncomfortable, getting into the right community is perfect. I know personally, I've chosen where I live according to what kind of community I'd be surrounded with because I never wanted to be comfortable. So it pushes your limits. Number two, support, belief, people supporting you, friends there, and just people who say, you know what, you can do that. Another important thing about community, number four, would be new ideas. We have a tendency of getting in circle thinking. Probably can relate to that, when you think of something over and over again. But having a community that you can talk with, having a tribe helps you get these new ideas. Number five is borrowed motivation. Nobody is on 100% of the time. No one wakes up every morning saying, yes, I can do this. Or maybe we do wake up every morning in positive moments, but there are those moments at night. So a community helps you get that borrowed motivation when maybe you don't have it yourself. Number six would be accountability. A community gives you a sense of accountability. Joining a workout program, joining people holding you accountable, it's phenomenal. If you want to feel accountable, you want to tell your community, you want to be with your community. You can comment below on your goals. I'd love to hear about it as well. I know one of our viewers is starting a jewelry company. It's about hearing from your community and about holding accountable. So now that you know the perks of having a community, my last reason would be because it's so fun. It's so great to talk to people and be around those we love or learning to love. But how? I came to where I live not knowing anything. The first place I went to find my community was actually church. Church was my number one go-to. Finding a religious congregation. I am LDS, that means I'm Mormon. So I went to church, and immediately the week I was there, I made sure to talk to everyone. I didn't wait for people to come talk to me. I went and talked to them because I wanted to make sure I knew at least some people in my neighborhood. After that, my very favorite one, oh my gosh, if you haven't seen it yet, please go do it. It's meetup.com. I'm going to repeat that one more time because it's so important. Meetup.com. if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a hiker, if you're a mom, if you're a dad, if you're an artist, Meetup.com is where you can find your tribe. You go there, you type in your area, and then it pulls up different groups you can be a part of. I cannot tell you how beneficial I found this. My first week here, I found 3 meetup groups. I was able to go to them, and instantly I was able to be around like-minded people who kept me motivated, who kept me happy, who kept me socializing. And so Meetup.com. If you're really trying to stretch who you are. Another way, so those are my 2 main ones, through your congregation. Number 2 would be meetup.com. Number 3 would be volunteering. If you're still finding it challenging to meet new people and to find your community, get out there and help somebody else. I've had a lot of incredible experiences because I've gone to new places and volunteered there. And you can meet people who are loving, who are caring, who are phenomenal, and who have the kind of hearts that you would like to connect with. If you're trying to increase your network, if you're trying to find people who are a little bit maybe in a higher socioeconomic class than you, who are doing a little bit more, who are doing a little better affluentially? I don't know if that's the right word. Go with me though. So affluentially. Yeah, that doesn't sound right. But going to these nonprofit dinners, I've made incredible connections by going to these dinners. So not only are you surrounded by people who are very, very successful, but all the money you're spending goes to an amazing cause. I know when I wanted to become a life coach, when I decided I'm going to be a personal development life coach, I called up I made a few emails, I made a few calls, I was connected with a woman I had met 15 years ago, and she told me there's this incredible event you have to go to called the Unstoppable Gala in I believe it's Los Angeles. Yeah, it is Los Angeles. And it was more than I could possibly afford, or that I thought I could afford. But I said, if I'm serious, I'll go to this. And sure enough, it was a dream come true. I met some of my heroes. I met Cynthia Kersey. I met Bob Proctor. And I just met, Mary Morrissey. And it was incredible as a young coach to be talking with these wonderful people, and it helped me expand my community, getting to know other coaches who were where I was at that moment. And really that's one of the things that helped me really expedite my process in becoming a coach. It challenged me, it pushed me to my limits. I wasn't comfortable walking into a room full of such successful people, but it helped me lift my horizons of what was possible. So how will getting a community help you? I promise you, as you do strive for this, as you do reach for this, you will be amazed by what happens, by how much it stretches you, by how incredible new possibilities will come to you. I would love to hear how it goes. Feel free to comment below of how it's going for you. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me as well. I'd love to help. We are in this together. We are a YouTube community. You are when you subscribe, you're part of the Exceeding Your Everest community. Thank you, and just have an incredible, phenomenal day.